Hare Krishna. Today we'll be discussing Bhagavad Gita as it is chapter 4, text 18. Karmani akarma yah pasyet akarmani cha karma yah sabuddhiman manushyeshu sayuktaha kritsna karma krit. So it's a very interesting shloka, very nicely composed, very poetic as well, but it can be confusing at times. Krishna says, Karmani akarmayah pasyet. One who sees akarma in karma. Karmani akarma. One who sees akarma in karma and akarmani cha karmayah. One who sees karma in akarma. Yah pasyet saha, that person is buddhiman manushyeshu. Among the people, among men, manushyeshu saha buddhiman. He is considered to be intelligent. Sayuktaha kritsna karma krit. He is, although engaged in all activities, he is properly in the proper situation. Sayuktaha means he is in the transcendental position. Although he is engaged in all kinds of activities, he is considered to be buddhiman. So now, in order to become a buddhiman, the most intelligent, what should we do? We should see inaction in action and action in inaction. It's a tongue twister. Firstly, it's a tongue twister, and then there is, what is this contradiction? What is this seeing inaction in action and action in inaction? It is just like saying, oh, if the kid is very restless and doing a lot of disturbance, oh, you should see him as a silent kid. See silence in naughtiness and seeing naughtiness in silence. What does it mean? How can a kid who is naughty or who is talking be silent? Seeing silence in talking and seeing talking in silence. So let's say, so we all have this experience. When we were children, we were in classes in the school, and there used to be a class leader, and during the break, when the teacher is yet to come, the class leader will make sure that the class is silent, and he will say, I'm going to write the names of the students who will talk, who is talking. And then he tries to discipline them like that. And then he goes on talking, he goes on writing the names of the students. So this class leader kept on writing 4 or 5 students' names like this. And then the teacher came. And then she started to come, call all these people and discipline them, punish them, time out and all that, except one kid. And then everybody was saying, no, he was the one who is talking a lot. He was the one who is going to everyone and talking. And the class leader also said, yes, ma'am, this is the kid who is talking the most. But then the teacher said, yes, I know that he is talking. He is specially talking to everyone because I gave him that exercise to talk. I wanted him, he is the best student. I wanted him to make sure that whatever task I have given, that they have done. So he is going to everybody and talking on my behalf. So the teacher saw, even though he is talking, it's as good as silence because he is doing the right talking. Whereas the others talking, it is nonsense talking. So even though the student was talking, it is as good as being silent. No effect of bad talk. So this is called seeing silence in talking or seeing inaction in action. We'll get there. How do you see inaction in action? Similarly, let's say how to explain seeing talking in silence. Let's say the same class, The class leader is writing on the other column, he is writing the names of students who have behaved good, who have kept to themselves, who has written some notes, who have done homework or whatever. So he's written 5 names of students. And then the teacher called all of them and praised 4 of them but punished 1 of them. And everybody was surprised. Why one student was punished? Because upon checking that this boy was writing all kinds of nonsense in the notebook. So even though he was silent, it is as good as talking and creating disturbance by showing it to people and causing disruption in their minds. So you can be silent, but you can do the damage. This is called seeing talking in silence, or seeing action in inaction. Even though you may be inactive, but an intelligent person will see you are still active in your mind and what you are thinking, how you are causing damage to yourself, and by your thoughts you will cause damage to others. This is called seeing action in inaction. So what is seeing inaction in action? Even though you are acting, it is as good as you are not acting. So Prabhupada explains that a person acting in Krishna consciousness is naturally free from the bonds of karma. His activities are all performed for Krishna. Therefore, he does not enjoy or suffer any effects of work. So this is called seeing inaction in action. Karmani akarmayah pashyet. This person is acting, karmani, he is acting in all kinds of work, acting in Krishna consciousness. But because his activities are performed for Krishna, there is no reaction. He does not enjoy or suffer any effects of work. So it is as good as not acting. Not acting means no reaction produced. So if you say, let's say you are traveling. So if you are on a plane, if you asked everybody who is traveling, you will find their motives or their obligations, earning a livelihood, or going on a vacation, seeing friends and families, performing some meritorious work or even nefarious work. But if you see, they are all doing for themselves and they all have to face a reaction, either positive or negative. But you see, Srila Prabhupada, he also traveled on Jaladuta. And to get the ticket, he worked so hard. He begged the ticket literally, only to endure a life-threatening journey across the ocean. But he also had a specific reason for his journey, like all these other passengers. And he writes that upon his arrival in Boston Harbor, he says, although my Guru Maharaj ordered me to accomplish this mission, I am unworthy to do it. I am very fallen and incompetent. But, O Lord Krishna, your mercy is so great. You are most wise and you can make me worthy. You have somehow or the other brought me to this country just to speak about you. Now it is up to you. You can do me as you like. You can do with me as you like. So Prabhupada was also acting. Actually, everybody is forced to act helplessly. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarma krit. Sadrishim cheshtate swasyaha prakriter gnanavanapi. Prakritim yanti bhutani nigrahah kim karishyati. Means everybody is forced to act according to the modes, according to the qualities he has acquired from the modes of material nature. According to our gunas, we are forced to act. Our senses are forcing us to act in a particular way. We cannot restrain from acting. So, but a devotee also acts, not impelled by the modes, by the material gunas. His motivation is to please the Supreme Lord, to please his spiritual master. He performs all kinds of work. Karmani abhipravrittopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. All kinds of endeavor he does. But it is as if naiva kinchit karoti. He is not doing anything at all. Because he is not getting any reaction. So that is what Krishna is saying. One of the great secrets of life, Krishna is revealing here in this verse, how to see inaction in action. A person who moves for Krishna, who acts for Krishna, is in the transcendental position, sayuktaha. His movement is different from the movements of those going somewhere on their own with a selfish agenda. On the other hand, if I undergo myself the trouble, it is simply troublesome as well as they implicate me in a multitude of karmic reactions. If you see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is one great devotee called Madhavendra Puri. He is a transcendental personality. He was always constantly in ecstasy of Krishna consciousness. He didn't know what was day, what was night. He was always chanting. He would not even endeavor to get food. Whoever gives him food, he would be happy with it. And sometimes he would fast if he doesn't get any food. And he was so full of love for Krishna, to the extent that Krishna came personally, appeared before him as a boy, beautiful cowherd boy, and gave him milk. And Madhavendra Puri could not detect that it was Krishna. And Madhavendra Puri was fully mesmerized by that boy. He drank that milk and he wanted to give that pot back, but the boy escaped. And then later that night, the same boy came in his dream, that charming boy, Krishna himself, and told Madhavendra Puri, I was waiting for you for so long to come. Please dig me out of this bushes. My name is Gopal, I am Giridhari. Somebody hid me, the Pujari hid me in these bushes out of fear of this Muslims' attack. When they attacked the temple, he took me out and he hid me in these bushes and he ran for fear of his life. And nobody knows where I am. So I've been suffering in these bushes in heat and cold and rains. So please take me out and install on my throne. I've been waiting for you. And then Madhavendra Puri starts to go into ecstasy. Oh my Lord, Krishna has personally came and I was not able to detect him. And then hurriedly he gathers people in the morning and then makes them dig this place, go and clear up the forest with choppers and all of that. And then finally they see this beautiful deity of Krishna and everybody becomes ecstatic. And Madhavendra Puri, as per the instruction of Krishna, he installs the deity and performs a great festival, Annakuta festival of celebration, of great feast. And then that celebration continues for several days for every village. And then the Lord comes in his dream again. He says, because I was under this bushes for so long, my body is still hot. I'm not able to get my body to come down to cool. So I need you to go to Jagannath Puri and get this much quantity of sandalwood pulp and camphor and rub it and apply on my body. Only then my body becomes cool. And now, in those days, this is more than 500, maybe Madhavendra Puri is more than 500, probably 600, 700 years. And at that time, the Muslims' rule was there, and every crossing, every road, there was persecutions, especially of religious people. And those who are carrying valuables are even more persecuted. And it was not an ordinary journey. From Vrindavan to Puri is a long journey, long way out. And Madhavendra Puri was a mendicant. He had no income and no help. But because he was in full of love for Krishna, he took that order as a source of great happiness. Oh, my Lord has ordered me, and let me go get this. And he was in ecstasy thinking about that order. He didn't face any difficulty, or he didn't face any distress executing that order. And then he went, and in between he goes to that Remuna temple, that great pastime of Kshirachora Gopinath pastime happens. We'll not get into that. And finally he goes to Jagannath Puri. He accumulates this huge pieces of sandalwood and somehow gets the help from the local pujaris, and they give some help in terms of carrying them. So he accumulates 37 kgs of pure sandalwood, very rare sandalwood, by the mercy of the Lord, and 230 grams of, exquisite camphor. And then he is walking all the way. From there again he has to carry this, has to have arrangements for carrying, has to have people arrange, and he has to somehow maneuver across, paying the tolls, talking to these people, avoid persecution. He was not at all anxious. He took it all, and in ecstasy he was walking back. And then the Lord came in his dream again. Third time he came. See, this is the third time he is coming in the dream. He said, my body and Gopinath's body, the Gopinath in Remuna temple near Jagannath Puri, Kshirachora Gopinath, they are non-different. So you can arrange this entire sandalwood pulp to be applied to the body of Gopinath every day in the summer, and I'll be as happy. I'll be very happy if that is done. And so Madhavendra Puri stays there, makes sure the task is done for the entire duration until this sandalwood is done, and then he comes back. So you see how Krishna, he wanted to show to everyone the ecstatic love of Madhavendra Puri. He wanted to show everyone that my devotee can go to any length to serve me. And when the devotee passes the test given by the Lord, see, the Lord erased all the difficulty. You don't have to bring it. You can do this for Gopinath in Remuna near Puri. So only the devotee understands these kind of intricacies. Only those in pure devotional line understand why a devotee undertakes so much of endeavor, karmani, but it is as good as akarma. It's as good as not acting, no reaction. Karmani akarmayah pashyet. Similarly, just like Madhavendra Puri has executed the order of the Lord, Srila Prabhupada has executed the order of his spiritual master. We also have to act. We have to endeavor, and if our endeavor has to be akarma, reactionless, we have to act for the order, please, satisfying the order of Srila Prabhupada. During Prabhupada's time, one time, there was the appearance day of his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and there was a grand feast. And the devotees, they followed Prabhupada to his room, and he sat at his desk, and then he started to read letters aloud to the small gathering of his disciples seated on the floor before him. So these letters were written to Srila Prabhupada. They were full of appreciation for him. And Srila Prabhupada offered these letters to his spiritual master on that occasion. And these letters had statements like, Prabhupada, we really like chanting. We are happy since we met you. And we are trying to teach other people how to chant Hare Krishna. These kind of simple sentiments people were writing. And Prabhupada became very happy. He put these letters along with the flowers before the picture of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And then he was looking at one Mataji, one disciple. He asked, have you become happy since the time you've been chanting Hare Krishna? She said, oh yes, Srila Prabhupada, my life has become wonderful. And like that he was looking at others. What about you? Do you feel more satisfied since you've been chanting Hare Krishna? They all answered yes. And then Prabhupada said, then I have only one request. Whatever happiness you have felt, you simply tell someone else about that. That is all you have to do. You don't need to teach anything, philosophy or something great. You just have to explain to people that because you chant Hare Krishna, you have become happy. And if they chant, they will become happy. Then I'll be satisfied. And my spiritual master will be satisfied. This is as simple as this is. Yare dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. Whoever you see, somehow try to give Krishna's instruction. What is ultimate instruction of Krishna? Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Mame vaishyas yuktvaivam atmana matparayana. Always think of me, become my devotee, offer your respects to me, offer your obeisances and worship me. This is the highest perfection of life. People try to eke out complicated things from Bhagavad Gita. But the most confidential instruction of Bhagavad Gita is this: how we can become Krishna conscious. And if we can teach this to others, that is very good, fulfilling the order of our spiritual master. And in the course of that duty, our actions are as good as considered reactionless or akarma. But on the other hand, Gnanis, even though they are apparently inactive by not engaging in any activity, like in Varanasi, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going out on Sankirtana every day on the streets. He was performing Nagar Sankirtana with his devotees. But he was a sannyasi who accepted sannyasa from Shankara Sampradaya just to make people accept him as a sannyasa, because it was prominent in those days, Shankara Sampradaya. So this Prakashananda Saraswati and his disciples, they felt quite odd. Oh, the sannyasi, instead of sitting idle and doing mental speculation, studying Vedanta, that they considered as inaction, because any action in this world will produce a reaction. So they were not doing any activity, but simply doing Vedanta study and mentally speculating, I am Brahman, aham Brahmasmi. That is inaction, all right, but still, how an intelligent person sees action in that? Because even though apparently inaction, soon they will come to activities of senses, because they, in the heart, they won't be satisfied with that dry philosophy. They will soon have to fall down and act on the sensual platform. Like many sannyasis, they come down to, Prabhupada says, open charitable things, or even fall down and perform abominable activities. Or the other way to understand is, if you are inactive, like Dhritarashtra, when his son was performing all kinds of nefarious activities, when Duryodhana was performing all kinds of evil schemes, he was inactive. He was not stopping his sons, but because he was siding the action of his son, he was not stopping it. It was as good as he was acting for his son. So inaction is not necessarily reactionless. Dhritarashtra had to face the reaction. When the likes of Vidura and all, they advised, no, you should not do this. Don't stay idle. Just act and stop your sons. And he would say, oh, what can I do? Oh, it is Daiva Nirnaya. It's a destiny of the Lord. What can we do? We are all small people. So people who resort to inaction, they say, oh, everything is happening by destiny. But they forget that we also have a duty to perform. Yes, you see, rain is the reason for vegetation. But if you don't sow the seed, how will the tree come up? How will the vegetation come up? The vegetation that you want come up. So sowing the seed and making the ground fertile is your duty. Whereas depending on the rain is the Daiva factor. So this is the misunderstanding of the West. They say, oh, people of the East, especially from India, they are lazy. They just say everything is destiny and they don't work. No. We also have to work as a duty we have to perform. Whether it happens or not, that is Daiva factor. And most important factor. We are not the independent doers. So it's a combination. We have to perform our duty, the right duty for Krishna, and also depend on Krishna for the result. So I'll stop here. Anyone has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Dandavat, Prabhu. Prabhu, that this concept is very difficult to explain or understand, Prabhu, but your example of classroom was really good, Prabhu, to teach anyone, the students. And as far as it's authorized, it becomes that concept of inaction and action. That was very nice, Prabhu. As we think through like all the examples, like um, I was just attending a wedding, and the Pandit was saying everybody don't talk and all, but if you like, he is the one who is like making the big talking in the wedding, right? And along with the Nadaswaram, but that's not considered any noise. Similarly, a police who is breaking the rules on the traffic is not considered as breaking the rules. So I think that example brought about other ideas of how we can explain this concept in so many realistic ways, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for sharing that example as well. Very nice. Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.